Hello friends, welcome back. In this next demo, we are going to apply the laws of nature and we are going to project the time dimension and the price dimension merger using the laws of natural sciences. If you observe this day, which is last week, we have 11/22 as our date, and market was attracted to this frequency. At 10 o'clock, it made an ultimate high. The laws of nature dictate that we compress the time and the price into a single digit. Here we have 11 and 2 and 2. So if you look at it, it is 2 and 2 and 2, which is compressed to 6. Divided by 2 is frequency of 3. So this day is bound by frequency of 3, which also means if you split the day itself, the day has a frequency of 22, which is 4. So there is a hidden ratio of 3 and 4, which is ruling this market at this point. And what we are going to do is project that onto the screen using Gann's squaring principles. With 3 clicks, we should be able to decipher the performance of this week's vibration. To help us find out a good pivots, this can be a pivot, this can be a pivot, this can be a pivot. We can simply, this is also a pivot, this is also a pivot. So these are pretty strong pivots as market is really aggressively moving away from these hidden points. Now there are many applications of this upcoming tool. So what we can do on way 59, we can first of all use this inbuilt tool called Gann swings. And by default, it comes with degree of 2. You should be a Gannite to understand. We'll make it to 5 just to clean up the chart a bit, and at the same time we can also change the color by changing the color and setting it and closing the deal. So we have a visual representation of the critical Gann swings with the degree of 5. Now these swings are already part of the historical evidence. So we are using this evidence to see what's going on in the market. So we got a very strong swing and we have a originating swing point. So we have A and B and C structure. Next, we are going to bring our tool called 3-point squared projection, and the tool is called 3-point trend line projection. And we have control, complete control of how we are going to slice the square into sub-square. Even though the net output of that is going to be a square, but inside that square, how many slices and of what shape do we need to use? This is all controlled by here. Now, since we are doing some squaring, this is going to be used as a side of the square, and this is going to be used as a projector. So we click on that tool and say, okay, now we have a hotspots which are active in the code. We'll click on this hotspot. We can see a small red cross appear here, and so does here. And we are going to use this as a projection. And if we have some misplacement, we can always, this is a free floating structure, we can always rotate the structure. The key to understand here is this is where the Gann's angle come from, and they use those angles to find out how strong the trend is. But they are pretty much static angles. You can also shape them the way you want it, but there are so many different true applications of this. All this is doing is we are slicing the time and the price, and we are squaring them in a different way. As I noted earlier, this is going to be the frequency of 3 and 4 merger. So how do I see that? So you see that on the top 1, 2, and 3, the third square is active. From the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth square is active. And then we have this projection line coming in, and we have control of all these projections where we are projecting from based on the frequency of that day. Which I will show you. So if I need to change that, I can shift the slicing of the square. That is why we need the shape embedding inside the square, which is created by this approach. These slices, and the reason for that is you have to understand which number controls the hour, the day, and the square, and the time. And these structures come together to give us what we think is going to be the square of interest. So if I need to adjust it again, I just bring the tool and I adjust it again. So what did I do here? I am slicing this square, and I am looking inside the square, and this square could be a side of a cube, and I'm slicing this based on the frequency. The frequency, as I said, was 3, 6. So what did I do here? I am saying use the third slice right here of the square, because it's a frequency of 369, and I'm using a structure of 4 by 4. I can change the structure also to use 3 by 3 structure. If I use 3 by 3 structure, I can just, now depending on the frequency of the day, now you see the slices have changed. And this is where people are having extremely difficult time understanding Gann, and because we have to put all those 4 dimensions together, and this is the geometrical representation of it. And because of this frequency and the squaring coming together, this was the ultimate attraction for that day. And you can go on and on and on. Now this is, I am projecting a very large swing. You can go and project very small swings. They'll all project differently. I hope this helps understand that to understand GAN, we have to understand things beyond your typical technical analysis or typical GAN books. There's a lot more going on. I hope this was some thing which might entice you to investigate the truth behind the nature of the market. Thank you so much.